producer that the KEEL Morning Show ever had. He is now living in Iowa City and Cedar Rapids and is on the radio at KRNA. Sorry, amigo. What you been up to? How are you today?
I'm well. I've basically been doing radio, and I just got back into some theater work. So it's basically like, I was back home, except there's more corn, and winter is a real thing.
Yeah, it's not 100 degrees, huh?
No, it's actually fall has already begun, oddly enough.
Oh, you suck.
Yeah.
Today, as you know, is 9/11, and on September 11th of 2001, on that day, you were in the Air Force.
I was.
And you were stationed at Barksdale Air Force Base, ironically enough, being a Shreveport-Bossier native. Mm-hmm. And on top of that, well, you know what? It's your story. And it's one of the most amazing, not only 9/11 stories, but just radio stories I've ever heard. So just take it from Gary Watson is an air traffic controller in the Air Force on 9/11. Take it away, man.
A short pre-story. My grandmother had passed away about a week and a half before. I had gone to her funeral. I was wearing my blues, my dressy things at her funeral, so I decided to wear them to work one day, the day after I came back. And I forgot that there was an exercise going on at the base. It was actually a nationwide, battle-ready exercise. So my chief controller sent me back home to get my BDUs because you can't wear blues during the exercise. I was on my way back listening to a morning show that I always listen to, and they weren't being funny. They were talking about planes hitting buildings. So I got to work as soon as I could. I lived right over the bridge, so it wasn't that long. I rang the tower cab to let me into the bottom of the door, and the airman said, "T-Dub, do you know what's happening?" And I said, I heard something, and he said, "Get up here as quick as you can." So he let me in, and we got up, and there was like a little, we had like a little 10-inch, 11-inch TV hid in a cabinet in the tower cab for those quiet days. And everybody was huddled around the TV, and we were watching this thing unfold. Now, when I said we were in an exercise, we had B-52s running, fully fueled, with live nuclear weapons on them.
When you say how many B-52s were running that morning with nuclear weapons as part of the exercise? I don't know the exact numbers, but I mean, I think nearly the entire fleet was home for this.
Wow.
So we're talking, 30, 40 B-52s just across the tarmac.
And all of a sudden,
it was an amazing sight to see, but not so amazing when you have these machinations in your head like, oh, we're about to go to war, and here we are, war ready. It was an odd thing that was going on that day. So
and then you got the news about Air Force One.
Right. Lord, however many, it seemed like forever later because all of this was just running in slow motion. But at some point, toward the end of the big crazy times, we got a message from the ops group commander that told us, well, he said, "Tower, we need to go secure." And at that point in time, we didn't have a secure radio in the tower, which I think there is one now. We said, "Sir, we don't have a secure channel." And he said, "Roger that." And then there was a pause. He said, "Tower, get ready for Air Force One." To which we said, "Confirm you said Air Force One." And all we heard back was, "That's affirmative." And so less than 5 minutes later, President George W. Bush is on Barksdale soil, surrounded by every Humvee and large machine gun that we had on the base, and beyond that, 40 B-52s loaded with big bombs.
How quick did they whisk him away, Gary?
Oh, it was a matter of less than a minute. From what I understand, you land, and then there's just this big caravan, and the command center where he went to was probably, 300, 400 yards from the airplane. Barksdale's big, the runway is a big piece of concrete. So they just got him in the Humvee, and it was less than a minute. There was no speed limit on the airfield that day.
At that point, as I recall, air traffic, the Air Force One literally across America was about the only plane in the air, wasn't it?
Well, besides that and the 2 fighter jets that were flanking it, yes. Earlier, probably 30, 45 minutes before that, like I said, time has no meaning during all of this, but 30, 45 minutes maybe before that, the FAA, which Shreveport, it's called RAPCON because there's 2 controllers. There's a radar controller and a tower controller. I was the tower controller. Shreveport controls Barksdale's radar traffic within the airport. And it's actually on Barksdale Air Force Base. And they called us from Shreveport RAPCON because they're the FAA people. And they said, hey, this is Shreveport RAPCON. Whatever you have in the sky, get it on the ground now. Whatever is on the ground, it stays there. Everything is canceled. We are cleaning the airspace. And within a matter of minutes, you could see videos of this online where you could watch the radar traffic landing across the United States. And within a matter of minutes, 10 minutes maybe, the entire sky over the United States was cleaned.
Got just a couple more seconds before you go. There is, and I'm not going to say it's my favorite part of the story, but there is almost, it's what you call it's almost like the President Bush / Van Halen contract writer moment. Right.
Well, the Air Force One is a flying office complex. I mean, there are a couple of dozen people that just work on Air Force One. Plus, you have your staff, whoever the president was traveling with, all that stuff. So you got 25, 30 people on board this thing doing their stuff, and they need snacks and things. So apparently, this is normal procedure when Air Force One lands anywhere. Somebody has to go out and replenish their supplies, just like any other airplane when they land, except you get this list of it was 40 pounds of bananas, a pound of mixed peanuts, 24 sandwiches, just a rundown of all of this. Somebody's planning a party at work, so they send somebody to the Sam's right quick to pick up a bunch of stuff because they forgot. But all I could think about is during all of this chaos, all of this, fear and anger and all of the emotions that everybody was going through on this day, there were 4 poor people that their only story about 9/11 was, I was out shopping for bananas for the president.